For most of my life, I've had a little bit of an issue with smokers. And it's not just so much, kind of the foolishness of the choice to spend, this amount of money on this particular habit that makes no sense at all. I'm going to intentionally inhale smoke into my lungs. That's kind of a poor choice, just generally speaking. But not just that, it's just that, smokers have a habit that they never quite seem prepared for their particular addiction. And that bothers me. I have my own stuff. I have a coffee addiction, but you don't see me like going to somebody's house, at 6 a.m. and knocking on their door and asking for a coffee filter. No. I prepare for my addiction. I have coffee on hand, coffee filters, coffee pot. I'm ready for it. I make plans and have contingencies in case I run out. Smokers, on the other hand, you guys, I don't know what your deal is. You always seem to run out. And yet, I pray for one. And so I started praying, years ago, God, please give me one person to share your love with. And as I was praying that prayer, all these prejudices, something as silly as, being prejudiced against smokers, all the way down to much more severe things, God starts to confront by putting people in my path or me in their path and giving me the opportunity to love them. Well, one time I was walking in this shopping area. It was an outdoor area. And I was by myself. I was going to meet with somebody. And I'm walking and I see this guy. He's looking right at me and he's got a cigarette in his hands. And he's looking at me and I looked right back at him. Instead of looking away, I just made eye contact with him. And I saw this look of hope kind of rise up in him. And he looks at me and he goes, "Hey man, give me a light." And the way he said it wasn't like, "Hey, do you have a light?" or "Hey bud, could I possibly get a light?" He just says, "Hey, give me a light." And he was so convinced that I had what he needed that I was like, "Yeah, man, absolutely." I didn't have a lighter on me. And when I said, "Sorry, I don't have it," he just was like he couldn't believe I didn't have what he needed. And I walked away from that encounter and I just was like, God, it was like one of those God moments. What does that mean? What was that all about? And a couple of things happened out of that. One was that God really showed me that when I'm praying for one, I really have what people need. I have his love inside of me to share with them. Another thing that happened was I started carrying a lighter with me wherever I go, just in case somebody asks for a light. Overcoming that particular prejudice has been a big win. But when you realize, wait a minute, I do have what people need. It's such a powerful thing because so much of the time we come from a scarcity mindset where we actually avoid people. Normally I would have avoided that guy with the cigarette because I'm like, I don't have what you need. Don't look at me. Don't look my way. I can't help you out. I would have stepped around him, not made eye contact. But in that moment I looked at him and he expected me to have what he needed. If we start to look at people that way out of an abundance mindset instead of a scarcity mindset, going, you know what? My chest is full. My chest isn't empty. My chest is full. I have more than enough, and I have what people need. Then we can share God's love, not only in super practical ways, which we can, but also in the larger ways of helping people understand who God is and who they are in relationship to Him. And it's a powerful thing. And so I want you to be prepared. Be praying for one, but also be looking at people with the mindset that says, I have what you need. And then when they ask, be prepared to give it to them. And your chest won't be empty, it'll be full. And you can share from the abundance of God's provision. And then life is going to be a lot more fun, and there's going to be a lot more people getting blessed through you.